All right, let's talk Chicago Bears. Already been an exciting offseason for Chicago, getting Ben Johnson, of course, massive win. But as they filled out the rest of their coaching staff, all eyes are now focused on how the Bears can improve their product when it comes to the players. Already did a great job for the coaching staff, and the Bears have been linked to a massive addition to the squad, which I think Chicago fans, you guys have been calling for. Great news for you guys. But first, I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, the Bears with new headman Ben Johnson. We all know they have talent, but they also have a few glaring holes that if they're going to take the next step and finally head back to the postseason, make a deep postseason run, they're going to have to address these big holes. And based on some recent reporting, there seems to be a strong chance the Bears could do that. And probably their biggest weakness, that is interior offensive line, the center position. Let's pull up this report. This is courtesy of Sporting News. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, one of the best, arguably the best reporter ESPN has to offer. Great guy, great sources, straight shooter. Highly recommend you check out all this stuff. Fowler recently suggested one potential Bears free agent target could be Drew Dalman, the Atlanta Falcons starting center. As the main guy at the position in a soft market, Dalman has a chance to receive top three among centers, surpassing Lloyd Cushenberry III's 4-year, $50 million deal with the Titans in 2024. Fowler wrote. Chicago needs to address its interior offensive linemen, and New England also could be among teams looking for center help. Offensive line is rarely a household name, and Dalman is no different. While he's never earned a Pro Bowl nod, the 26-year-old was quietly one of the best centers in football this past season. I know a lot of Bears fans have been clamoring to get Drew Dalman into the building, and he would be the perfect addition for the Chicago franchise. And now we're starting to see some reports, some linkages between the two. It's kind of just speculation at this point, but there's certainly at least a little momentum. Jeremy Fowler is a good reporting. If he says it, there's at least something behind it. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Miles, I know you've got a few thoughts on this one, but first, Bears fans, in the comment section below, what's one free agent from an opposing team you think the Bears really need to add? Obviously, remove Drew Dalman. Give us a different guy you think the Bears need to go out and sign that you think would be a great addition to the Chicago squad under new headman Ben Johnson. Give us that player in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest news involving the Bears?
Yeah, Nick, I think you hit the nail on the head here. This is a really big need for the Bears to upgrade this offensive line. They got some decent play out of a few guys down the stretch, but they really just need to look at the interior of this line, especially the center position, and try to revamp it, try to get things going in the right direction to really give Caleb Williams more time to get this Ben Johnson offense to go because we all seen it. We've seen the evidence. Ben Johnson's offense with a very strong offensive line, all the Lions' offensive line, I would say arguably the best offensive line in the NFL right now, it can do some really special things. So let's try to build towards that. Let's try to get towards that. We all know Ryan Poles. He's a guy, he knows the offensive line position, played offensive line. We should be starting to see some big moves made at the offensive line position. And I think this is the first of many things to happen. I don't think this will be the last move for the Bears, whether it's free agency, trades, whatever they decide to do. I think they're going to go in on the offensive line position. This is the first key for me because Shelton, he did very mediocre, 60 grade per PFF last season. You look at Dalman, like they said, quietly, this is a top 4 center in the NFL last season out of the Falcons. The Falcons also have a very good offensive line, so Dalman, he's no scrub. I think him coming in, being under the radar, they may be able to sneak him in for that, $50 million 4 years. That's not a bad deal for a top 4 center in the NFL. It would really be a huge upgrade to this Bears offensive line. So I'm already liking what I'm hearing. Like you said, Jeremy Fowler says it. It's probably got a little bit of weight behind it. There's been some rumblings, been some rumors. I really think that this could be a strong move for the Bears. And I think these are the kind of moves they need to make going forward because they really have an opportunity here with Ben Johnson if they get a strong offensive line.
And they got the cap space to do it. According to the folks at overthecap.com, they got 63 and $1 million in cap space right now. That's obviously more than enough to absorb whatever annualized hit with Drew Dalman if they were to go out and get him. And I think they should overpay. I think they should overpay for overbid for his services, because this is a Bears team that has the talent at the skill position. We know this defense has some guys as well. Caleb Williams showed off the physical tools. I think with Ben Johnson, he'll obviously have an opportunity to perform much better, but it's not going to be any better in the long term if their offensive line isn't solved. It's such a glaring weakness. The only guy in the starting five, and other people may have different opinions, you can let us know in the comment section below. Well, there's one guy on the starting five that I'm happy with, and that's Darnell Wright. The other four guys could all be upgraded, but at center, definitely, they need to get better there and better quickly. The pressure right in Caleb Williams' face, it affected the running game too. It was a lot of keystone cops, like people pulling the wrong way, miscommunications. It was a lot of ugliness, and hopefully better coaching fixes some of that, but you also have to have more talent. Bill Belichick said it best recently. He says players win games. The team with the best players are the team that's going to win the games. Coach's job is just to put those players in positions to be successful, but you have to have good players. Ben Johnson's a smart coach, obviously first-time head coach. Few question marks, but he definitely seems like a right guy to get Caleb Williams heading in the right direction. But you need better players, and Drew Dalman is the perfect example of a better player to address a critical weakness for the Bears. There is a time to be frugal with cap savings. There's a time to be efficient. There's a time to not overpay. Now is not that time. The Bears need to be hyper aggressive. I don't care if you reset the market for centers. I don't care if you pay 10, 20% above market for a guy here like Drew Dalman, and then do the same thing in other positions on this offensive line. You can't afford to waste Caleb Williams' cheap years, because in 3 years, he's going to be cost you $80 million a year annualized based on where cap positions are going for the quarterback. You've got to take advantage of Caleb Williams when he's cheap, and the best way to do that is to get him a great offensive line. Adding Drew Dalman would be the first step in accomplishing that goal.